as long as Kathleen Kennedy is nowhere near that project, I'm okay with it.
Hello, everybody. I am the CEO of iArcade, and you are watching the best show in the world, Retro Buzz. Let's go.
Hey guys, it's Friday and it's time for the Retro Buzz, and today is one of everybody's favorite shows. It is the community show, and we always have a great time with this, and I know this guy here is in shorts.
Toga! 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 Friday.
And he's happy it is Friday. We've got Mr. Glen Planamento with his blue juice. And
legs that are killer. Look at those legs.
Dude, you are gonna scare people away. I'm watching viewers drop right now. I don't know if that was smart, but it's a good thing we've got this guy here because he'll keep the viewers coming back. We've got Mr. Douglas Smith. Welcome. You're muted, my friend.
Yep.
Yes, I am. Apologies.
His voice box away.
It's allergy season, so I get the sniffles, so I keep having to mute my microphone so I am not obnoxiously sniffling on there. But yes, glad to be here. Thank you.
And we also have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. I know him as Michael Manna. You guys know him as Stevie Richards. Welcome, sir, to the show.
Once again, I have the worst camera. It makes me look about 20 years older than I don't know what else I can do here. This is a DSLR and it looks like crap. I need to go to PTZ Optics and get a new camera. What do you think?
I think so too. I think that'll help you out.
We might have to talk off air.
Yeah. We also have a few guys that need no introduction, but you guys see him in the community. We have Mr. Hollywood Polo. Welcome, sir.
Hi, everybody.
Hollywood.
And who else do we have with us on the Zoom crew tonight?
Got JJ.
JJ, are you there? You have to talk so it switches.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, cheers, everybody. Glad to be here as usual.
He's in his toy cave. Look at that.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
So,
you got, what, pro wrestling for the NES right there off to your side?
Yes, I had to put that on for tonight, yes.
Yes, because
we're
talking all about the wrestling games, but main one is Retro Mania. And if you guys want to join, I don't know if Doug or Glenn or somebody can put the link in the chat room for the actual Zoom. If you didn't get it, go check it out for the promo of the show. You can download it and go into Zoom. And I'm fixing Glenn here because he decided to move again.
I don't want to scare at my legs.
That's all right. But anyway, so we wanted to get started, but there's a little bit of something we got to clear up first. So after the last time, Mike, you were on, Glenn said he was actually working with your program, and he actually said, Doug, I don't know if you remember this, he actually said that he could take you, and that's exactly what we did. We started laughing.
This, yes.
Look at that.
So we told him we were going to tell you about it. And I told him that you probably were not going to be happy about it.
First of all, that's not a very good defense guard he has right there, because I would literally hit his hands into his own face. So it's not necessarily the smartest thing to do. But I will tell Glenn this on a positive note, that 30 years in a business where I'm paid to lose to other people for the right amount of money or the right PTZ optics camera, I could possibly be persuaded.
He's good at
I
that.
have a camera coming your way right now.
He's good at that. You know, like with Jong, he kept saying the E word and made Jong a lot of money. So I'm sure he wouldn't mind funding it. But guys, what we wanted to focus on tonight is you guys might not know, or maybe you do know, that former professional wrestler Stevie Richards, as you guys know him, Michael Manna, he is not only just an avid wrestler, but he also has his own fitness. I guess you call them classes that you do on YouTube. But what you guys don't know is he's also an avid video game player, as well as retro game collector, as well as arcade enthusiast. And I know you're excited about a certain cabinet that you actually got just a few days ago, right?
No, I actually just got it yesterday. I did everything in one day. I actually
You
received
demand.
the cabinet, did the video, which is up on the YouTube channel, which is mostly fitness product review based, home gym tours, and as well as the Stevie Richards fitness programs. But I do have a passion for games. And I actually have a passion for people that actually have passions about their brands. And iArcade had sent me their Retro Mania cabinet, the Retro Mania wrestling cabinet. So
Nice.
it is it's amazing. And it was really something that especially with past experiences that we talked about off air, the order of which it happened, the bad experience first, and then the really, really seamless, easy Apple-like, as we were talking off air, the packaging, the way everything was just laid out, and of course the beauty of the graphics, everything was just done just top notch from A to Z from iArcade. It was really pretty amazing.
I know these guys here. We're going to open it up to you guys on the Zoom to ask some questions, but just give us really quick your overall opinion of the iArcade. Now, I know you said about the packaging, very Apple-esque, but now that you've actually, because on the video you didn't actually play really any games, you kind of went into them, but you didn't really spend time, actually playing the game. You're just demonstrating, oh, look, this is cool. Now that you've played it, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, Apple-like would be what I would consider to be, user interface is very, very easy to navigate. I really did like that. Obviously, from the way I installed stuff, it's based on an Android type operating system. But the fact that I could have my phone right here and I can install games as long as I'm on the same Wi-Fi network, I assume, the games start loading and installing onto the machine. And obviously, the video, audio-wise, the multimedia experience on the games are second to none. The audio, as a matter of fact, in this video that you'll see if you watch it on YouTube, the speakers took me off guard with just how loud, but no feedback and no buzzing or anything. They are
Clean.
a very loud, clean sound, and the controllers coming from RetroPie to something that's already pre-mapped with the extra steps of this is what A is, this is what B. The menus going in the loading screen into the games, the way Zhang and everybody at our arcade just made it. Even a stupid wrestler can understand it. How's that? Hopefully, please don't make that a tagline. You'll get a lot of people pissed off at me.
JJ,
I would just say really quickly that just the care and passion, it from every bit of the experience and the build quality of the product to the packaging, just shows that this guy put everything into this product. And I appreciate that.
And there's a comment here for you that you can answer from Meatball Saucy, and we'll get to JJ's got a question. Have you played through the story mode to beat yourself in the game?
And we all giggle like 7-year-olds when we see that, right?
Well, what we have to remember though is
maybe not the pastor, but the rest of us.
But it's not on iArcade yet. You've been playing the beta, and we'll get to that a little bit later on, and you've got it for some other platforms, but. JJ, what's your question for Stevie with the iArcade?
With the iArcade,
or even with Retro Mania.
I've played wrestling games, by the way, throughout all the history since that pro wrestling game on Nintendo. So I'm pretty not knowledgeable, but I'm pretty passionate about the games from that day compared to the ones today.
Nice. It's an honor to be here with you. Is there any platform you would recommend it for? I definitely want to get it. What would you recommend? Any differences, or are they all about the same? All the versions?
Well, obviously, right now it's on Steam and Xbox. So the Steam for people that have PC and they just want to kind of take it over. I think there is a way, actually, possibly with Steam, if you pay the money, you can play it on Xbox as well. I'm not sure because I have a Mac, but I'm interested to see what the Nintendo Switch has and when that release comes out, because I've always wanted a portable Fire Pro Wrestling type game. And I love WrestleFest, of course. An arcade cabinet can't be, transferred over, and I'd be kind of tough to get that on the plane. I would assume. I've never tried it. Maybe I could try it. But the Nintendo Switch reveals a unique opportunity that WWE and maybe even AEW have not tapped into, because the people that have Switches are very, very loyal to the Switch. And once you get a game out for them, they're willing to invest the money. So the Switch, I think, is going to be the game changer for Retrosoft Studios.
And
I agree. I love my Switch. I love my Switch.
There's
so much that you never took it out of the box.
There is a question here that's on the they want to know, is this the first wrestling game that you've been in? No, you've been in a lot of other ones. That do you know?
No Mercy.
Yeah,
I was actually in mode. The first SmackDown versus Raw. It was SmackDown at the time. I was a story mode character, but I wasn't in the game, which means I didn't get a royalty check, which really made me angry. Then I was in the next game as Right to Censor. Then I was in a couple SmackDown versus Raw games. I was in Raw 2. I mean, I've been really blessed to be in many different video games. And then I believe No Mercy, of course, which was actually, I think, my second favorite game as far as video games for an American system, because WCW versus NWO Revenge was probably the best wrestling game made. My goodness, maybe even up till if you're a Dreamcast fan, I love Giant Graham 2000, New Japan 4. That's what WWE 2K games and the SmackDown versus Raw games were based on. So lots of great stuff. But, I think we're going to discover, if people are on the show, especially on the Zoom call, that they're going to discover games they've never heard of. And I encourage them to go out there and try to find them and play those games.
and we've got Your Average Gamer. I believe you got a question for everybody, right? I think. Let me just get. I have to get the capture working, but go ahead and ask your question real quick while I work on that.
So, I was gonna ask you, when you're playing the game, do you decide to just play with yourself, or do you choose another character?
Normally, I choose another character. I said during the video that I did for the iArcade that I'm probably going to pick Dreamer. Obviously, you want to see what your character looks like, but I've been really privileged with Michael Herman and the people of Retrosoft Studios to see my character art, everything created from day one. As a matter of fact, Mike has been, you want to talk about somebody that's really kind of helped me live out the dream and cross over, because Stevie Richards Fitness is one of the arenas. You have to go through the Stevie Richards Fitness Training Center in story mode, and that is a really priceless kind of thing for my new business, my fitness brand, to be featured in a wrestling game. So it's kind of immortalized that way. But I like seeing what other guys can do and the surprises of moves and stuff that are thrown in there. So Dreamer, I think obviously John Morrison's probably going to have the most impressive moves because he's one of the most impressive athletes out there. But Zack Sabre, I'd like to see him not tie me up like a pretzel in the game, but maybe Tommy. That would be good.
All right, I'm still working on getting the video in, guys. It just randomly decided to stop for the capture, but like I said, I'll work on it. Anybody else on? I saw Jeff Rainwater snuck in on Zoom. Jeff, do you have any questions for Stevie? I don't know if he's muted.
Well, I got to say real quick then, I am so
He's
jealous
driving,
of
so.
Steve's Arcade. The artwork on that thing looks fantastic. I definitely want to turn this bad boy, get that artwork, and turn that into what he has. That looks really, really good.
Well, Glenn, you obviously have a ton of cabinets there. What do you say? What's the
Me?
process that they use? Yeah, you have it's well, just from first impressions. What do you think? Like, do they put an extra coat of something on there, or an extra step on the graphics?
Well, whatever. I don't know who they're actually using to put on the graphics, but I can say that it's very high quality. I mean, it feels almost like it's got almost like an acrylic finish to it. I mean, it feels really, really good. Out of
It's
all the
super
machines,
glossy.
and Doug, yeah, out of all the machines I have between the arcade one up, the ad games, ones that I've gotten through other people, this just feels like the most high quality covering. So it's almost a shame to cover this up, but I do want to turn this one into a Retro Mania machine, which almost seems like a shame. But like you say before, this machine just bleeds quality and ease of use. Even some old man like me can do it.
Well, before you got on, I talked about that too with the experience I had in the past with other cabinets, and even the whatever the pins that go into it that you use the Phillips head screwdriver. Never once with this wood did I feel like the wood was going to split on me in any way.
Right.
On the other one,
Yep.
every single hole had a split or a fray or something. This was really tight all around. I could feel the difference.
And I agree. When I was building mine, I videoed my whole build process of mine, and it was the easiest to like I said, to put in the dollies or whatever they call those pins are. Went in very well. Didn't feel like it was getting stripped. They all had a nice bite and they stayed. Even the packaging, when you took yours apart, you probably noticed it was just packaged really, really well. Everything was covered. My box was slightly damaged when I got it, but nothing was touched inside. It came very, very well.
Well, if you showed up when you were supposed to, we actually talked about that.
Yeah, he's a slacker. And now I've got Hollywood here, or I'm sorry, we've got your average gamer on the screen here, so you can actually put a face to a name. Sorry, I had to get everything
situated.
It dropped off for a second, but
God, everybody's got a better camera than me. What's going on?
I'm sure yours is better than mine.
It sure as hell isn't working like it.
So if you guys have any questions, if you're on the Zoom call, just speak up, because that's when it's going to switch, and then I'll know and I can navigate this. Doug, any questions for him in relation to?
Oh, absolutely.
Go for it,
I was just
man.
going to ask Michael, what has been your favorite representation as far as the video games that you've been blessed to be in so far? Which one of them said, hey, they actually, for all things taken into consider with technology, which one captured your likeness or represented you the best, do you think?
Well, I'd have to say as a standard stock character, it would definitely have to be this one. It would have to be Retro Mania Wrestling, the hard work and the way it kind of breathes that difference between something like a No Mercy type game or WCW Revenge, and also Fire Pro and WrestleFest kind of all wrapped into one, because the cutscenes have some more artwork or graphics to them, but then it's sprites with the actual game. And actually, I played Matt Mania on the arcade, and Retro Mania Wrestling kind of reminded me of Matt Mania, the original game, where I used to go to a Chinese restaurant in Philadelphia and just dump quarters in that thing. And, as we waited for our food, it was pretty cool. That was a long, long time ago, by the way, everybody. That was like 35, 40 years ago. But I will say this too, the Fire Pro Wrestling community, like, that's a tough question, because the fact that the community with Fire Pro Wrestling and possibly Retro Mania in the future, the create a character function, there's people that spend so much time creating these Fire Pro Wrestling characters. And that's still an amazing thing, to be able to create your own ring apron, ring mat, and then really just the idiosyncrasies of everybody. It's such a mature game. I mean, Fire Pro has been out since Six-Man Scramble on the original Saturn. So we're talking about decades over Retro Mania Wrestling, which is a debut game coming out in 2021. So I'm sure they'll get there.
Well, and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you're absolutely right. The dedication of the Fire Pro community, and to a smaller extent, the No Mercy community, because there's still an extensive area of, diehard fans out there that are meticulously handcrafting, modding, manipulating this game code so they can add their favorite characters, new, old, with dead-on likenesses, with graphical limitations of those games, and recreating arenas. I mean, just from scratch. It's a beautiful thing to see.
I have
Stevie, I was wondering,
I never dove into that, by the way. I would love to get my hands on an N64 again and see if I can do the No Mercy and the Revenge mods and all that stuff. That would be an interesting project to take on. But I interrupted somebody. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, we'll get to Hollywood. Hollywood, we'll let you ask this question here in a second. But on the lower third, we're trying to get everybody incorporated, even the guys that are not getting on video. So Wolfenos wants to know, other than wrestling games, he said, what's your favorite genre of game?
Football games. As a matter of fact, I have a video on the YouTube channel, and I'm about to make the updated version of that. That NFL 2K5 is still the best football game ever made. Doug just talked about mods. They've released an updated roster multiple times every season with updated rosters, updated draft, updated salary caps, all this different stuff. NFL 2K5. I have an original Xbox in this closet over here, and I'm actually waiting for the opportunity to get an Xbox Series X because I want to play NFL 2K5 on the Xbox Series X and be able to continue that passion, to be able to put updated rosters. That would probably be my favorite game of all times. I just played Hitman, the original Hitman. I still kind of go back to those games because that's kind of cool. Like has a more of a, you can use strategy, but you can also go Grand Theft Auto and just use a Fusel G4 to just start shooting everybody.
All right, Hollywood, go for it. Ask him your question.
Stevie, I was going to ask you, what additional game modes would you want them to add to Retro Mania?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Hollywood.
What additional game modes do you want them to add to Retro Mania?
Wow, that would be tough. Because you know what, in this day and age, too, if they were to add something that looked like say, Hell in a Cell. If you add something that looks like the Hell in a Cell from WWE, they could quite possibly sue you for the intellectual property. Exploding barbed wire, who knows if that might be a thing. It didn't seem to work out too well recently for AEW, but maybe on WrestleMania Wrestling we'll get a better explosion. Those poor guys, man. I've been in that spot more than once. It sucks.
All that hard work into poof.
Yeah. Hollywood, let me ask you a question, because this is important, because Michael Herman and the team are always asking people like you, the people that are actually investing in the game, what you would want to see. So what game mode would you want to see in there?
I don't know.
I turned the tables on you, didn't I?
Yeah, I would love.
I want to see Glen in there. Glen would be great.
I would like that. I don't know. I think Doug should be in the game too. Doug and Glen would be a great tag team, and it'd be great. You have all these YouTubers in the video game, but I think they're all deserving of a story mode. So I'd love to be able to play as Glen or Steven or P-Dubs and be able to story mode through the whole game and, beat Nick Aldis for the championship.
Well, speaking of that,
we got a body slam.
No offense to them, but if those are the guys you got to go through, you will be fighting Nick Aldis for the championship.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know if you can see it, Michael, but on the lower third there, we got a super chat for $5 from P-Dubs, and he says, like Nick Aldis, Michael Manna fears Macho Dubs. Oh, yeah, dig it. I'll let you just kind of...
That's all right. He's the one that paid $5. So who's the mark?
Oh, yeah. Well, he spent. I don't know if you saw
super chatting him $5.
Did you see the interview that he was on the show with Nick Aldis and Jong and them, and he was
Michael Myron.
He was razzing him the whole time, and he literally slammed him. He said, so when P-Dubs goes, so when we meet in person, he goes, you're not going to talk to me. He goes, who says we're going to meet in person? He said, I ain't going to meet you in person. He just dogged him. And yeah. So now he's trying to razz you now.
Well, that's okay. I would love to meet him in person. I don't have a problem with that. I won't even wear a mask.
His costume now. That's pretty awesome.
Pretzel Dubs.
That's just. Sorry, Glenn. I didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead. You were about to say something.
Oh no, that was it. Pretzel Dubs.
Anybody else in the Zoom that we didn't get to yet? I know, like I said, Jeff Rainwater. He was driving, but I don't know if he was
I was
muted.
about to say, I can see he's in traffic right now.
Okay. Anybody else that's on the Zoom call? I can't see who's on the Zoom call because I had to make the change, but I can see the video and pull it in. We want to make sure that anybody that's on the Zoom call, you guys can get your comments, questions. I'm trying to pull them up as quickly as I can in the chat, so feel free to keep them
I
coming in
got
the
a
chat.
comment to say.
Yes, go for it.
Those people at Retro Studio need to make a create a wrestler. That's what they need to do.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
good
how
idea.
And online.
Yeah, those two things are definitely something. I mean, Mike would want to put everything in there that he could. We've had these conversations even during the early development phase. Those two things right there are probably the hardest things to do, because what you have to do online obviously has infrastructure issues, even with the most mature ones like Xbox and PlayStation. I tried to log into PlayStation Network the other day. It didn't work. So there's lots of things to consider when you're trying to go on to platforms like that. The creative wrestler brings a challenge, because I've been involved with the process of the 3D face scanning and body scanning with WWE when I was there, and that's become incredibly efficient. Then, from what I understand, those scans are based on base bodies on CGI models. What you're dealing with Retro Mania Wrestling is really hand-drawn art. This is these pixels, and then obviously the cutscenes are art that are drawn by artists. So the process of trying to do the creative wrestler would be a lot more tedious that way, to do that. And also, Mike wants to do it perfect and get it right the first time, and that's kind of why he fell into that social media thing where people were getting on him about delaying the release, because he wanted it to be at a certain point to where people aren't saying this is not a finished game. And the pandemic kind of really threw everything for a loop. So I would have no doubt that if everything was on time, there would be development right now. And my guess would be more so towards the creative wrestler than the online, even, because the creative wrestler is an endless thing. That I just said about Fire Pro. I can go back to Fire Pro and have a different experience every single time based on the community's creative wrestler function. So you can always comment on his stuff, and they're always very responsive to the Facebook and Instagram comments.
Oh, I speak to them all the time. You know, I know it's a difficult task, but it's one that would probably give a more life to the game, more playability down the line. But yeah, he's really.
Yeah, I have no doubt. My opinion with the way they would go with this probably would be DLC first, because there's certain one. You were close talking me there for a second. Look at that, zooming in. I would assume and speculate that they're going to do some DLC for people that they requested that aren't yet in the game, and then there will have to be that thing of how do we create the basis for a creative wrestler? How many options do we have for head, chest, body? How many outfits do we put into it, and stuff like that? And it's a digital game, so obviously you're not limited by a DVD or a double-edged DVD or a Blu-ray or anything like that. And you kind of have some freedom with it. Physical media too costs more to produce, so you can put your time into creating these things. So I have no doubt, but I'll get on his ass too. Don't worry about it. I'll bother him.
And P-Dubs is backpedaling now. He said, in all seriousness,
Yeah, he totally is.
You're a legend, Michael,
So
and
now
thanks
I
for
made
hanging out.
$10 off this dude. I made
Yeah.
$10.
Yeah.
It's good.
And
I know Patrick is a good dude, and he actually has a great reviews on his gaming channel, and he does a lot. He used to do a lot of live stuff. Has he done that lately?
Oh yeah, he still does. He does a lot
I
of
haven't
live.
seen it. Maybe I unfollowed him.
Zing.
Camo wants to know, what's your favorite game on iArcade that's not Retro Mania? What game do you want? Well, we did answer that. What did you want to see next? I think that was one that you. But what is your favorite game currently on iArcade?
In my brief time, because I downloaded the games that John was kind enough to send me and played some of the built-in ones. Dragon's Lair, although it looks incredible, has always frustrated me with the timing. I've never been good at that. But I really did, like I said earlier to Doug, Mad Mania kind of brought back a lot of memories, and it was fun to play. And the sound was good, the graphics were good, the controls were very tight, and I'd have to say right now, Mad Mania, I haven't tried. I would dare to say if I try a wrestling, or not a wrestling, but a racing game out, I would probably like that. Double Dragon a little bit didn't seem as cool this time as when I was playing it as a kid.
I agree
didn't
with
feel
that.
the same. I think after I played like the X-Men game, the X-Men games that were based on that, because they were bigger, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, that the sprites on Double Dragon and all these other things it just felt like a very sparse, nothing game this time.
And Deputy Van Halen in the chat wants to know, does Stevie ever remember weight training at King's Gym in Bedford, Ohio at any time? I go there to train there with Cleveland. I don't know who Cleveland is.
King's Gym, I do. The name kind of rings a bell. I used to stop at gyms. Like if I would see a gym that looked cool, no matter where I was on the road, I would stop there. And I actually, one of the things I would do too is everybody else would book their hotels by the airport. I would book a hotel closest to the gym because it was just a nice thing to have the gym right there. Unless a hotel had a gym, then I would do that. King's Gym, Bedford, Ohio. I remember training at one place in Ohio that had really good equipment. It reminded me of Bally's Fitness.
Okay.
And I just remember this is like a Bally's Fitness, but it's not. And they let me train for free. So I love that place. You have to pay.
Absolutely. So how
$10
did you keep up with gaming while you were on the road? Because you're constantly, out there going from place to place. How did you keep up with your gaming? Were you just lugging around your consoles and your game collection, or
wait,
things that used
Did you put it in a bag?
You better have. I will have to come do a SmackDown.
All right. So I'll tell you. I think I've told this story one of the first time I was on. Myself, this is what we used to do on the road. I know other guys would do more nefarious things to keep themselves from being bored, but this is what we would do. It would be myself. It would be Kane, Charles Robinson, D'Lo Brown, sometimes Rosie, who was also one of 3 Minute Warning. Mixed between that, but usually myself, Kane, D'Lo were always there. Then usually Charles or Rosie. We would drive, and I had the original Xbox, and this was when I had to kind of jury rig a DVD player to plug into the Xbox so we could. There was no screens, no games, GAEMS or any of the cases or anything. So two guys would sit in the back, one would be driving, and if you lost at Madden, you had to drive. So if you continued to win,
those are high stakes for sure.
If you continued to win, you didn't have to drive, and we'd have 250, 300-mile drives between house shows and TVs. The other thing that I did was, this is before you can go to Micro Center or anything like that. Kane, myself, and D'Lo would all bring our original Xboxes. I put in an order to Newegg when they were just really Newegg. They were something completely new to everybody, for 3 75-foot Ethernet cables to be cut, 3 sets.
LAN party
then
time.
I put it all in a duffel bag, and I carried my Xbox on the plane and everything. And we had walkie-talkies, and I ran the Ethernet cable from one Xbox to the other for 3 hotel rooms, and we would play the original Ghost Recon all night after TV until we had to fly out.
Oh my!
That's dedication.
That
is dedication.
That's awesome.
They were great guys to travel with. Glen is a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Fame person, not just the wrestling. But Glen was a huge gamer. We had a lot of games of Madden. Myself and D'Lo, myself and Charles Robinson. Charles Robinson had probably the best Madden defense that I ever played against back then. We would have a lot of like those Tennessee Titan Raven games, like 6-3, like super boring if you weren't in the defense. But we had a lot of good times, and Glen and I would just know everything we would do. So we would just have shootouts and stuff like 38-35, go to overtime. We usually have to go to overtime when we had an early flight, and that would suck because what do we do? Do we miss the flight, or do we shut it off? Good times. I mean, those are the things about wrestling I miss the most, is that kind of camaraderie and just guys getting together, having a good time, talking a little trash, but nothing harmful, nothing mean, and nobody getting into trouble.
I think I seen a hand popping up on the Zoom call. I could be wrong, but
Michael B.
Is there a Michael B in the house?
Yeah, I jumped in. I couldn't get my question answered, so I decided to jump on the Zoom call because I'm selfish like that.
Good. Well, you belong in pro. You're perfect for pro wrestling. Sign up right now. Selfish.
Go ahead.
Anyways, I'm a huge wrestling fan, have been all my life, and I just wanted to come in and just say thank you so much, Michael Manna, Stevie Richards, for your contribution over the years. I still remember I wasn't big into ECW. I'm in Newfoundland, Canada, so we don't have at the time we didn't have a lot of connection outside when ECW first started up. But I'll never forget seeing you for the first time when you guys showed up on Monday Night Raw with that ECW takeover, and you came in the ring and you're like, "We're taking over," and it was the first time I saw the BWO. So I've followed your career ever since then, and just want to say thank you so much. And also, you might not know this, but I know Sean, RGT85, a little bit. And when you first started doing a little bit of stuff with him, he wrote me ahead of time. He's like, "Dude, you're never gonna believe this. I'm talking to Stevie Richards, and like he's a cool dude, and we're gonna do some stuff on my channel." And it's really cool to also see you involved in this environment too. So thank you so much. Also, I didn't get a chance to put this in, but if Retro Mania is listening, we've got Legion of Doom in this game, Road Warriors. We need to have scaffold matches. Chi-Town Heat. That's what I'm talking about. That would be a really cool idea.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, most importantly, thank you for being a fan. And without people who follow careers, wrestlers wouldn't have a career in order to have a life outside afterwards to be able to do the things I do today. So I want to thank you and each and every person out there for being fans. We need fans. And that's what I think, just on a side note, that's missing from the fact that in sports or entertainment of any sort, people don't seem to just want to sit back and enjoy it. They always want to, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I watch football and I'm a fan, but I don't claim I can play better than Aaron Rodgers. I don't get out there and try to criticize these guys or anything like that. I just sit back and enjoy and realize that these guys are doing some stuff that not a lot of people can do. So I do appreciate each and every person like you, being a fan. Talking about the RTG 85 is also a great guy. He and I have been talking about working out. He's got some meal prep stuff. He's really trying hard to get healthier, and I commend him for that. And he's a good dude. I sent him the video.
Every time he comes on here, he breaks my equipment. So we've only had him on twice because he breaks my equipment when he comes on here. Like, it just stops working for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
So you're who's responsible for the way he looks now? Hey, that's what you're telling me?
I'm responsible. Well, I don't know what he looks like right now. If it's still in the before phase, I don't know if I should take credit for
that. No. He actually looks great. Like, you wouldn't even recognize him. And I'm just a little disappointed because, I'm a little
what's funny about
because,
that? Oh God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just a little disappointed because he looked so much like Eddie Kingston before, and now he's kind of breaking my illusion. So, kind of ruins it for me.
Well, you know what's funny about that too? It may have been something I said, but I didn't realize I said it. I just said to him one time, I said, "Hey man, I know you're there," because he always would tweet out or put up face wherever you would put it about sitting up, editing all night, sitting at his desk, doing this and that. Kind of like feeling bad or his back hurt. And I said, dude, you just really need to take better care of yourself. You want to be healthy and you want to do whatever. So maybe eventually that kind of got to him and he went, okay, cool. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired and decided to make that change. So I'm glad. I can't wait to see. I'm going to check him out on YouTube tonight and see, how much of a change he's made. But he said he's working out, eating right, doing all that stuff. So he's a good guy. Need good guys to stick around for a long time. So the last part of your question, though, that I never thought of, which is an excellent, excellent suggestion, and nobody can sue for it, is the scaffold match.
Yeah.
I got to tell Mike about that. That is, and if you
That's
can,
golden.
everybody who's listening,
it's gold.
Comment on their Instagram or tweet at them, do whatever, tell them you want a scaffold match in there. It's something that I feel like geometrically cannot be that difficult to do, as far as you don't have to have it wrapping around the whole ring. So that's an incredible suggestion. I would love to see that.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that in the chat room. Also, I don't know if Mike follows the show, so he might even be sitting here watching and, oh, he's here. Mike has heard.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so
What
I
are
was
you
just gonna
doing?
say
You're
he's.
promising all these things to everybody.
I was gonna say he's sitting here right there. There's the comment.
He's
So
like scaffold matches, creative wrestlers, and online. Free Krispy Kreme donuts for the rest of the year. Everything. Promising it all.
I can honestly say, out of all the wrestling games right now, the biggest buzz is for, and no pun intended, is for Retro Mania, because I hate to say it, but the WWE one that they released earlier this year was a total
Stinker.
Yeah, that's putting it
Garbage.
nicely. So I didn't even buy it. I usually get them every year because my son and I play it. But this one here, Retro Mania, is the one that we're all waiting for, because and wait we shall. So guys, you just got to calm down. But I think that having the ability to do some of these and having new features added, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I think they're gonna, if they can incorporate it. So kudos to you, Mr. Michael B.
Yeah.
Very good
I
suggestion.
wanted to say, yeah, thank you so much for the question and especially the compliments and everything. I appreciate it.
See, Michael B, that's how someone from Super Game Room Dudes should be. Unlike other people who spend $10, that was the right way to do it. Good job.
And it didn't cost you anything.
Oh, I did have one more question, if that's okay.
Did you put your hand up?
Oh, sorry. I did have one more question. I'm sorry, Stevie. This one's not for you. This one's for Cool Toy. Cool Toy, I just wondered if you could tell us what your favorite pinball table was.
I can. It's actually changed. It's Kirby Pinball for the Game Boy.
You know,
wait. It's got all the pinball elements you ever wanted, a ball and flippers, and it's even got Kirby. So I mean, it's gold.
Do you know, last week when we did that little stunt with the video, I had a guy leave a comment on there, and he's like, "Okay, guys, the first time it was funny. The first time that you did that. This time it got old. It was kind of a chuckle, haha." And now he's probably gonna leave a comment on this. He's probably gonna watch this and go, "You guys, get some new material. Like, it's getting old. Like, come on." So I still think it's funny.
Wait. Old things are not always bad things. Okay?
No,
sometimes old
listen,
things
I'm just
are very,
saying.
very sexy things. Very sexy. Like, sexy.
You better hit the gym more.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right
Well,
now. I've been commenting on other wrestlers' Facebook pages and Instagram pages for probably a good 10 years, saying I can't wait to kick out of your finish, and that hasn't gotten old to me yet. So keep going.
So there is a question. If anybody in the Zoom, you guys could stick around for the remainder of the show. If you have questions, just feel free to kind of jump in, or I think you can put your hand up in there, and then Doug can kind of direct a little bit. But
You gotta trust me with that kind of thing, which is smart.
Jamie wants to know. He said, at the Tech Buzz Gaming, tell Stevie he can mod his Xbox to put all the games on it, and Cool Toy will give him the ROMs. Okay, that's like the third time.
Well, how about if?
Sorry, I thought that was like a serious one.
How about it? Wait a minute. How about if we just skip to step 2?
He's watched the show, obviously. He's seen that.
FBI emails are on their way.
No. We'll just give him P-Dub's address. I already got that all figured out.
Yeah, he's already paying a $10 fine.
Yeah, he's already paying it. So
yeah, there we go. There we go.
Who else do we have on the Zoom here? I don't want to leave any. JJ, do you got anything? I think who else is on there?
Yeah,
JJ's got a question.
I got to make up for my first question. It's kind of boring. I apologize.
You're fine.
Here's a better one. All right, so you're on the iArcade. Okay, you got Retro Mania playing. You can invite one pro wrestler and one YouTuber. Which two people do you invite?
Oh, way to put him on the spot.
Can you make it present company excluded? Because that would be tougher. Can you make it present company excluded with the
you're not. Listen, you're not going to offend me.
We all know it's got to be Doug. It has to be Doug.
Yeah, you're not going to offend me.
I'd wipe the floor. I'd be used to be like a mop. I'd be no good. It'd be taking Glen's a mop on the bottom. You guys are going to be surprised at who I'm going to pick. Okay, I would say probably the one pro wrestler that I would pick to play the game with me would be one of the funniest guys that I know, and he just makes me laugh, and he's very clever, and he's also just fun to be around. Is Big Sal from the FBI.
Oh,
he's part of the Conspiracy Horsemen with us, but he's just a good dude, and just the fact that you get to play it. YouTube wise, surprisingly, it would probably be Joe Rogan.
Oh, he's hilarious. He's another.
But just because to have a guy who commentate UFC to be playing a wrestling game and trying to, but it would just be a departure from that. And that's just my first answer offhand without thinking about, making anybody feel any more uncomfortable. Like maybe, you know what? Maybe if they put the exploding barbed wire match, I would have me and Cornette play it and then get Cornette's reaction. That would be interesting.
That would be great. I do like that Joe Rogan idea, that fish out of water as far as the UFC commentator playing a wrestling game. I'd be interested to see how that goes. His reactions, his commentary on that.
He wouldn't be disrespectful to it. He would just be as fun. I never seen Joe lately do anything to just have fun. He seems to always overanalyze things. I'd like to see him just play a beat up game and just be a dude for
relax.
5 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's me telling him to relax, and my wife's always telling me to take it easy.
Let's.
So as far as future games coming out, have you been keeping up with the AEW news and their potential games coming down the pipeline?
I heard something about that. I saw a trailer for it, and obviously, when it comes to wrestling games and people within the wrestling business, I want everybody, not just with games. We're talking about merchandise, action figures, T-shirts, anything. I want the talent to make as much money as possible, and with a video game in the company, hopefully, there's an opportunity. Excuse me, for more guys and girls to make money, because video games used to be the highest generating piece of merchandise for a company. And I hope this AEW game takes the lessons from what we talked about with WWE. Because let's face it, WWE has been just doing what Madden does and has done for the past 10 or 12 years.
Just rehashing the same stuff and just sending it.
Yeah, let's just keep the Ukes engine, slap some lipstick on the pig, and let's throw it out there. And let's put a lot of DLC in it so we don't pay the wrestlers royalties. That's the thing, at least when I was there. If you're in DLC, you don't get a royalty check for that. You have to be on the main roster of the game. So the guys are like, it's cool to be in a game, but financially, you could buy a house by being on that roster back in the day of 20 or 30 people. I'd love to see AEW just make a game that could be just, mixed between all the ones we love. I'd love to see somebody, honestly, take what Giant Graham Wrestling did. Do you guys remember? Did you ever play that for Dreamcast?
Yep. Underappreciated gem.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking about, if I gave you a neck breaker or a hard clothesline, an x-ray of your body part of your neck would come up and a shattering sound and a percentage of the body part that would be injured or hurt or broken down. Such a simple
dead.
thing. What's that?
Or dead, in my case. Dead.
Well, there is a part where you're not getting up. If everything, if 2 parts are 100%, you're pretty much TKO'd. But think about that as opposed to a power meter. A simple little picture-in-picture in the corner with a shattering sound, which is very visceral when you take a big bump. And also, the way the Dreamcast controls work, Doug, you can speak on this. We're very organic with the way the body moved.
Yes,
like you
very
grab
natural.
a guy, you pull him in, you push him down, and you hit the button to power bomb him. That's the way I remember it. Is that true, Doug?
Oh, 100%. Like I said, it's a natural progression on the controller with your hands and your thumbs going up and down in a organic fashion. Whereas we all like the Nintendo 64 games, but let's be real, that Nintendo 64 controller is not an organic playing experience. You got buttons and knobs and things all over the place.
Yeah. And
if nobody has played, I got the little board that I might not be allowed to have, if you know what I mean, for the Dreamcast. but
Glenn likes those boards.
It's got an SD card. It's completely legal. But
Easy wrong.
but if you can get a hold of a Dreamcast and it's in good working condition and it can play Japanese games, get Giant Graham 2000 and also get New Japan 4, because that's what the WWE games were based on, the Ukes engine. And dare I say it, New Japan 4 is still better than just about any WWE 2K game that's been released.
See, I will definitely kneel to Doug on the Dreamcast. Everyone should own a Dreamcast. It's a phenomenal console. Not a very long lifespan, but it was one of my faves. So I would definitely take a knee to a GD-ROM, I'll say it, in the Dreamcast.
All right, so we have to. We said this earlier that Michael and Glenn were going to square off today, and so I've set this up. Neither of them know about it, and I'm going to put Michael in the hot seat here because it's Glenn's favorite. It's Glenn's favorite ranting session. So I'm going to put them both on the screen at the same time. So Michael, Star Wars Episode 4, 5, and 6, or Episode 1, 2, and 3, or
4, 5, 6. I'm not even going to stop you. Not all of them.
What do you think of 1, 2, and 3?
3 words. Jar Jar Binks.
Okay.
See, you thought you were gonna mess me up. This is the guy right here. This is the guy.
Okay. All right. So that's the first one. All right. What do you
Nino
think?
Like the Retro Mania game. I swear, like he goes when he goes miso, I'm like, please don't say it. If you say the other word, if you know what it is.
Yep.
All right.
Watch Platoon.
Atari 2600, Atari 2600, and Pong. Today, would you play it if they remade it? Because obviously you can't really.
What's there to remake? It's 2 paddles and a.
Well, the reason I say that is because right now you have to have a special TV unless it's emulated. But I'm talking about if they made it so it worked on a high definition TV. Would you buy it? Is Pong worth buying? Especially the arcade cabinet that Arcade 1-Up came out with, that you can set down. It's like a bar top type.
Bar top. Yeah,
they're still not selling me on it. I wouldn't buy it. I don't care how many bar tops are. I don't care if it's got fireworks shooting out of it. No.
What do you say to that, Glenn? He does not want Pong.
Well, he can snap me with just a look. So I'm going to say, okay, Steve.
Why is this guy the one that created the? Did I just cost you a GoFundMe or something? Or
No. All right.
No, it's just that I just happen to like the classics, and Pong can't go back much further than that. And I do like it. I do like smacking
you got tons of room in there to put another cabinet. I can tell. So yeah, why not?
So I'm going to turn the tables on it, and I'm going to tell you this, Michael. Guess where Glenn's Nintendo Switch is right now?
In the box, never used.
Yep.
And I have a ton of games that I bought for my son, still in the box, still shrink wrapped, never touched. But I tell you now, the seal will break. The seal will break with Retro Mania. I want the physical. Well, it's still a download, isn't it? It's not going to be a physical copy on the Switch, is it?
Yeah.
Limited Run said they're going to do a physical version.
Yeah, we'll
okay.
buy that.
So for that, later. I will be on this show. I will be on the show with that Switch unboxed with that game. I cannot wait to play that game, but I want a physical copy. I know downloadables, it'll be on here, but I want a physical copy of that game. I really do.
There's a show on TLC called Hoarders. You might want to check out.
Yeah.
I think
they've reached out to him a time or two.
Steve, I've tried everything. I've tried dating on TLC. That didn't work. I'll go on Hoarders. I'll go on Junkyard Wars, old show. I'll do whatever it takes. As a matter of fact, why don't we go on this? How many ways you can bend Glenn on a show? Just take me, just like bend me all these little
it's the Florida of TV networks. Yeah, we watch 1,000-Pound Sisters, My 600-Pound Life, assuming at the end of the hour and 45 minutes that they're going to be successful, man. They never are. It's unfortunate.
Now, everyone knows I joke a lot, and I do joke a lot. But this, I'm going to be totally serious about this. Steve didn't know me from P-Dubs, before I met him on the show here with the Retro Buzz, and we talked a couple times. And I am obviously not the pillar of being in shape. I'm not. But Steve did send me some videos, and he's talked to me a few times about certain things. And I may not look much different, but I feel a lot different. I've been using his videos he sent me. He's talked to me a few times. The one thing I do fail him, and I admit it, is my eating habits, which are horrid. My diet pretty much consists of Coca-Cola and Oreos. That's pretty much what I eat all day. But with that being said, I do his exercise routines, and I feel a lot better. And he does have his own channel. He does. And he's got these videos. And he's helped other people a lot better than me because they pay attention to the eating habits part of it. I don't really know what protein is. I've heard people talk about this protein thing. I don't know what that is. I know sugar. I know a lot of sugar and polysorbate 64 and yellow dye number 5. That's what I know. But in all seriousness, he reached out to someone here who really is not into health at all, and he's trying to help me. And I will always be his stepchild, problem child. But I do appreciate him trying to help me as best he can, because no one can really help me, but he's trying. And I appreciate it, Steve. Thank you.
No, see, that's what it's about. It's all I can do is just check in and give a little nudge here and there, and you're going to decide, Glenn, when the diet's just like when you decided when to start working out and using bands and checking out content. You're going to decide one day, like, well, this feels good, but if I start eating right, I'm going to feel even better and I'm going to look even better. That's all up to you. I don't put any kind of pressure, or I definitely put scare tactics on people or try to make people feel anything but at ease with the workout stuff. It's just too much noise, and it's too many people that intimidate because they want to feel better about themselves. Like, look at how big and strong and how good a shape. Guys, it's not about you. It's about the people that buy your program. So that's what I live by. And I'm always here for anybody that asks for help. I'm never going to say no to anybody.
And that's where this
very genuine person, very genuine. Yep. And I just want to say one last thing. I got to be careful because I do eat right and I do work out too well. These two guys will just be in the shadows, and I can't do that to my buddies.
Going to need a bigger box. That's what's going
to I was about to say, it's in his contract. Yeah, they'll just, I mean, Steven will shrink us down, and we'll be, minor bubbles in the corner, and then Glenn will be front and center.
I'm surprised he hasn't said anything that, oh, you moved me back to the middle where I belong. I was waiting to hear that, and,
No, because my lawyer's watching this episode, so if I was not, we'd be getting a call.
But no, it's serious. Rob Coleman in the chat room, he says, I never really got into U.S. wrestling, but I can say that this guy Stevie is nice. And there's a bunch of people. And I can honestly say, like, I've been friends with you probably for, almost 15 years since we started the whole broadcasting journey back in the heyday.
Oh, yeah, tech guys, yeah.
He used to do a show called The T4 Show, and he just had problems, and that's kind of how we connected. And it's funny to see our paths cross in all these different avenues that we've chosen to do with broadcasting, and even kind of go our own separate ways away from tech, because, like, I think you'd agree it was oversaturated. And if you didn't,
still is.
yeah, and if you didn't have a hot blonde eating a cheeseburger, you were kind of. Yeah. Am I right? I mean, you were dead in the water.
Wrong though with
or
that.
With a big box of an iPhone bill from AT&T. That kind of stuff is what sells.
Right. So here, him and I are doing things and trying to give people information on cell phones and tell them, what the best ones to buy, or computers and software. Yeah, they didn't want that. They wanted blondes and cheeseburgers. So it's interesting to see this kind of come full circle. Talking about arcades and the troubles that he went through with some of the other builds that he had, and now to settle up on the iArcade, which is just extraordinary. I think everybody here on the panel and even the guys on Zoom would agree, Jong has been very instrumental, and even from the beginning, what he's done with being outright and communicative with all his backers. I mean, what can you say about that guy? I mean, to be able to do that, and even Mike Herman is doing the same thing with Retrosoft Studios, and I think that says a lot about a guy.
Updates and communications to the community. I mean, like weekly, if not daily, when he's got an update, and like if he doesn't have an update, he's like, I'm expecting to hear something in 36 hours. I'll update you then. Like he's like, I gotta go to a ball game for my kids, but here's an update. That stuff right there, that dedication is just unheard of in the community right now.
Agreed.
I think definitely an example. You talked about the journey, and I would tell people on an overarching thing outside of even a gaming show or anything like that. Steve put it perfectly. We've tried different things throughout our different careers, wherever they spanned or took us out of one and put us in another. But definitely keep trying and have that journey, because as he just said too, good people are going to eventually find each other, even if they're kind of get together and then they take different paths. They're always going to come back together, and the best, the brightest, and also the kindest will find each other. And God has blessed me immensely throughout my wrestling career, and has given me still somewhat of my brains to be able to do stuff, and also given me injuries and other experiences in order to put into my fitness brand, and in order to help teach people in other ways. And also just to show people that wrestlers or people on TV or entertainers or athletes or other people, for the most part, even if they put up a facade that they think they're way away from the general population. Hopefully I can show that we're human beings like anybody else, and sometimes just a bit goofier and clumsier than most people.
Doug, you want to hit that comment up?
Yeah, just there's Mike from Retro Mania. He's giving an update. He just said, by the way, his son's team won the championship. Shout out to the One Up Boys travel team. So congratulations. That's awesome.
I would
Very
immediately
cool.
test them for PEDs.
All of them. They're all on that juice.
So yeah, congratulations, guys on Zoom. Do you have anything before we got to wrap this up? Do you have anything that you want to add or talk or ask a question? Now's your time, or forever hold your
Even I wanted to
peace.
ask Doug a question.
Oh
Sure.
no, here we go with more of the ROMs. I'm kidding.
Doug, I was wondering what feature of pinball tables are you going to add to your modded arcade one-up pinball?
I am still tossing around the idea of putting in a bigger screen. I just haven't decided how big and if I truly want to go down that rabbit hole, because that is opening up a whole nother can of worms that I told myself I wasn't going to do. And then here I
And he
am
did it.
still mulling it over. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm also modding my II arcade machine as well. So.
Jong didn't hear that.
There goes that warranty.
No, he did. He did. No,
I'm teasing. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'll give you a sneak peek. I was about to say I can
Oh,
do that.
here we go.
Walk off
He's promoting. Wait,
Oh.
he's promoting. He's promoting.
It's not promoting because I'm not making a video.
You
for
should
it
have waited
yet.
till his headphones were completely off and then said that.
There you go.
I should have.
While
The
he's
iArcade is actually based on some form, if not exactly Android OS, correct?
It runs off of Android. Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Because I was,
It's
I was
called
well, once
it's
I
called Zhang Droid.
John
yeah,
Droid.
because on my elliptical, believe it or not, my elliptical has that looks awesome.
Sorry.
He's breaking
Well,
stuff.
this is a small portion of it. 'Cause I didn't want to haul it over, but
Oh yeah, nice.
I decided to make my own.
Oh,
This is before they ever announced it, so I was like, "Yeah, I gotta."
You
I
made
gotta
that
have
one,
this. I
dude?
gotta get
No,
this
no.
made.
He got custom artwork put on his
Looks so good.
before they even announced the Retro Mania one. That's what he was saying, and he added it to it. I'll let him explain now
talk
that
to
he's
him about
back.
Dude, that's amazing. You did that artwork and put it. I didn't do it, but you had that artwork put on.
Yes, I'm still working on the stand because I'm thinking about putting in like a display in the stand so I can put like my wrestling action figures and rings and
Nice.
make a whole diorama type of thing in the base. So that's what I'm working on right now.
That's a good idea. You know, a lot of people have done that. The bottoms of these machines, I mean, they're nice and solid, but to put shelves or maybe a glass door in there so you can display some things in there would be a great idea, Doug. So I can't wait to see that.
Yep, I gotta make things multi-purposeful since I've got too many addictions with games and toys and figures. So I gotta make good use of the space I've got left.
I'm going to give you guys a little preview of something. I don't display too many things, but the guys, if you ever heard the podcast Wrestling with Tragedy, my friend Angel, Kevin and Piers, they have it. They talk about it's like a Dateline NBC type thing about the crime in wrestling or the tragedies, and it's pretty cool. But the one guy, Kevin, is actually making, I don't know if it's going to zoom in, making, which way is it going to go? Oh, geez.
If you actually,
Making
you know what? If you
there.
text me that picture, I could actually pull it up full screen if you want. It's up to
Okay.
you. If it's a private thing, don't do it.
No, it's okay because this is a cool
Yeah, we
thing
got
that I
we got
wanna
into
let
trouble
everybody-
last time when I did that.
That's what I'm
Here,
saying.
you can bring it up.
Yeah, I can pull it
Well,
up.
actually, I got to find them. Hold on a second. But it's a cool thing because they reached out to me. Oh my goodness, where is it? I gotta find this. Oh, I got it. Okay. Sorry, this is riveting, isn't it?
No, you're good. You're good. Hey, that's what these people come up. They want to see. They want to see the cool stuff, and that's why everybody's hanging out, and watching, and
the cool toys.
They don't mind if we
Because
go
you
over
will
a
think
little
this
bit.
if you're original. There's a couple people actually talked about ECW and the original. They will recognize this from the early days of ECW, in my early days, and it was nice that they were willing to make something like this for me. I'll probably display it in the home gym.
Just give me a second.
Okay.
I got to open up the images
Well.
here, and then I will show it here. And
they make stuff for everybody, by the way. You know what I mean? It's not just for me as a special order.
Oh wow!
Let me get rid of this lower third.
That is early days.
The original ECW tag
Yeah.
team belt.
Let me
Yeah,
do this.
you got to put the leather on it, but it's pretty much
Even
done.
side
They're
plates,
just showing-
yeah.
Yeah, there's the side plate before it was painted. There's that belt.
Those turned
That
out
belt
great.
cut me open a bunch of times, and you can see why. Look at all the sharp edges on it. And it weighs about probably a good 20, 30 pounds. I mean, it was an old school belt, very heavy. So I'm not usually into that stuff, but that was the first one I had the privilege of winning. That Paul and the people in ECW or ran ECW, put something on me that I put a responsibility on myself and Raven to be able to carry something like that. So it was cool.
They're saying
For a kid in 1995 who didn't have a clue about anything in life to have that.
they're saying
Pretty
Eastern
cool. Yeah, it was from
Championship.
Eastern.
Yeah.
It was from Eastern, but it's it turned into the ECW one. They just repainted Eastern into ECW. I forgot about that.
Mike Herman
that's
says, you sing "We Are the Champions."
Hey, add that to the game right away.
Yeah.
Have it done by the end of the night.
Get on it. All right, guys on Zoom. Any?
That's what I did after we won it on promo. I remember. See, he remembers better than I do. I sang "We Are the Champions" after we won the belts.
There you go.
Steve, I was wondering, who is your favorite current wrestling champion and why? Could be any federation.
Well, I would have to say Lashley would be because he has the most legitimate background, and I've seen what Lashley came through, or went through, I should say, with all the terrible stuff that they handed him after he reinvented himself with American Top Team at Impact, to go from them knocking him all the way down, and then the spot he's in right now, he deserves it. So, and Lashley's a real tough guy. He's a guy that walks through an airport, and you're like, no,
Absolutely.
I don't think so. I'm not going to try that.
He looks like a human statue, and the man has not aged in the last 15 to 20 years either. He's done immaculate, job of keeping himself up to date and in great condition. But yeah, like you said, he is a man you do not mess with. He is a one-man wrecking crew. He has the skills to pay the bills and, break people in half at any will.
Now, I'm pretty dumb. I would mess with him because I've been known to do that, but I don't suggest anyone else does.
So one final thing, and then we're going to have to wrap this. I got to know, when are you buying your wife that pinball table?
She asked me about that. I have to
listen. I know you and I have been
Especially
talking.
If it's a Miss Pac-Man pinball table or something.
Listen, when you were getting those arcades, she said, I remember hearing her say, "When are you getting my pinball?" When we were talking about when we were trying to put your other one together, she's like, "Where's my pinball?"
I'll tell you what about her. At least with that first cabinet, it was such an amazing thing to see that she had a brow studio that was about 90 miles away and used to work that on the weekends, have a business there. She drove home when I finally put it together and I had it all set up. We were on the phone that afternoon on that Saturday, Steve, and she came home, even though she was exhausted, she went up to it. We brought Miss Pac-Man and started playing, and it was just super cool to see that we could bond with something like that. So when this cabinet went up, with the two players and not having to reverse the controllers like the last one, anything, that we could just play the game. Because all we could really play was Miss Pac-Man because the joystick worked, but the buttons didn't. Long story short, is there a pinball out there that I can get her that has a Miss Pac-Man mod on it or any ROM I could put on?
Not
what? Right now.
Wait.
There's a machine that is very mod friendly.
Well, I was gonna say if he did the Legends.
Yeah, the Legends.
You'd have to
most
put Miss
mod
Pac-Man
friendly.
on. Yeah, you'd have to put
But
that on.
You'd still have to do the work of setting up a computer and
because
putting
even the
Miss Pac-Man.
Legends pinball, you can do the vertical.
You lost him. His eyes glazed over.
Yeah.
You lost
Yeah,
him.
would Toy Shock be better for?
You won't get.
Or Toy Shock wouldn't be, but would it be a better place to put my drink, or what would it be good for? Okay, guys. So thanks for everybody for tuning in. We should probably stop right now.
His wife's gonna go back and watch this episode. She's gonna be like, "Yeah, where's my pinball?"
Yeah.
Plenty of room. I will always make room.
She's gonna be like, "Move the big barbells, you know, or move one of the elliptical machines and put my pinball there."
Yeah. I'll give my wife this. She has been awesomely supportive. It was her idea to put the home gym out there. This used to be the home gym right here, and this became the podcast studio, living room, and whatever else that we could fit in here. And then we kind of went to a minimal lifestyle, which isn't minimal yet, but we've been paring down stuff and using it with intention. So it's a cool struggle. You know, obviously I want a cool arcade cabinet in the home gym, and I like having my equipment. And it was, I mean, we had it before the pandemic, so you can imagine during the pandemic, we were looking at that thing like, thank God we had that. That was
for real.
Definitely something that, you know, was really great. We were grateful. We could have had one kettlebell or a pair of dumbbells. We would have been happy with it, but we were much happier with all that.
So we're going to wrap this up here. Just want to let everybody know, next week there will be no show. We do usually do it on a Friday, obviously, but with Good Friday, people going away for Easter, especially now that the pandemic is kind of winding down and people are allowed to do stuff now. We just figured, you know what, go spend time with your families. We'll be back the following week, but we really wanted to get this show in. But we really want to thank the guys over on, let's start with the Zoom crew, and we'll kind of have them go through the Zoom. Well, that's what I call them, the Zoom crew. I gotta start with this guy, Mr. Michael B. What do you,
Game Genie?
Let me get rid of the lower third because I moved you guys to a different input. But what do you got? Tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, you can find me, YouTube, Michael B. the Game Genie. I've been on a couple times, so I don't need to really go through the whole rigmarole again. Watch me on Super Game Room Dudes later tonight, though, and check out Nostalgia's Teespring store, where you can find all your Super Game Room Dudes merchandise. All right, everybody else, your turn.
Wait, you didn't do it with enthusiasm, so P-Dubs is going to yell at you for that.
Come on.
Do it again.
Subscribe to your channel.
He's not even wearing it.
Right now.
He was just like this. He was just like, yeah, go check out Nostalgia's Teespring, you know, and come on, man.
Emotion.
Steven,
It was fantastic. You left that fantastic.
Mr. Hollywood.
Yes, Steven, I wanted to promote Your Average Gamer. I mean, this gaming tournament every week, PCFX3 has brought all of us together. Our love for pinball, talking video games, movies, and everything. And I encourage everyone watching to like and subscribe and watch the UAG after show after Super Game Room Dudes, because he's awesome. Thank you, UAG.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
All right, what do we got? Who's next?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks as usual for having me on, guys. I love this. Stevie, you're an awesome guy. Loved everything you said tonight. You're a legend. And I'm super pumped about Retro Mania. You guys are getting me really excited about it. Probably going to try to buy it for all the systems now. I'm seriously that excited. And for Glenn, really quick one. I don't know if you know this came out yet. I know you're talking about Geo the Rock a little bit last time. But his action figure has come out.
Oh, I gotta go get that.
I have a few of them. I'm selling them quite cheap, so just let me know if you're interested.
Are you dating Kennedy? How'd you get that before it got released? How'd you get that?
Yeah.
Can't give it away. All right, who else do we have? Who else do we have on the Zoom crew?
Right here, Your Average Gamer. I want to say thank you for having me on the show. I love the stuff that you guys do with the community. And if you guys are free tonight after the Super Game Room Dudes, please stop by and see the show, the Retro After Party. We would love to have you by.
Cool. Who else?
Your YouTube is The Average Gamer, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Subscribe to Mike B, the Game Genie, and I'll subscribe to this one.
Yeah, his is
cool.
you are like the letter U R Average Gamer. So that's how you're gonna have to search it.
Oh, okay. I've got a different one. I unsubscribed to that one.
Stevie, we'd love to have you in the.
You are Average Gamer's got an arcade thing with a red banner, right? That's you.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm with the little icon that says UAG on it.
UAG has the icon. Okay.
He meant to say the really big icon. You never say little.
Subscribe real quick. Sorry about that. I put it in the average camera. I don't know that guy.
Hollywood, you were trying to say something real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying to Steven, if you're into pinball, download the game at Pinball FX3 on Steam and buy some of the tables, and you can join us live in the tournaments every week. Just search for Your Average Gamer under the Tournaments tab within the game, and the password is capital UAG 2021, and we'd love to have you in our tournaments.
Cool. Yeah, if you can email that to StevieRichardsFitness@gmail.com. It's Pinball FX3 on Steam, though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. If you could email that to me, or pass it to Steven or the guys, they'll get it to me. I'll remember to do that. Thank you.
And also, we want to thank Mr. Michael Manna for taking the time to chat with us today, guys. Make sure you go check him out, Stevie Richards Fitness on YouTube. It's not just fitness stuff.
I think it's just Stevie Richards now. I'm sorry.
Oh, is it? Okay, I apologize.
Just search Stevie Richards on YouTube, and not the average gamer. Don't subscribe to that guy. Just Stevie Richards.
All right, so I fixed it here. You'll see it pop. All right, so youtube.com/Stevie Richards. Make sure you go check it out. He's not only just the fitness stuff, but there's a lot of game stuff, tech stuff. So go check it out. All that good stuff, right?
My cat's killing my autofocus.
No, you're good. You're good. And then also Mr. Douglas Smith, youtube.com/CoolToy. And stay tuned for more of his mods, because he's not going to promote it, so I'll do it for him. He's just going to sit there and, okay. So go check that out. I will say he did cause me to spend a little bit of money this past week with the Ghostbusters stuff, and my son.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
My son still doesn't know I pre-ordered it for him, but yeah, he did do that. And then also this guy here, hopefully he has a better Friday now that he's been on the show, Mr. Glen Planamento. Check him out, youtube.com/GPlanamento. And I think you've got some cool updates with this trackballs and all that coming soon.
I do. I have a couple of prototype samples coming in for the At Games Legends Ultimate, so we'll try that out. But I'm working on a new video now. Unlike Doug, I love promoting myself. Using a 3D printer to maybe repair your consoles, parts that are broken off. So a 3D printer, it's more than just fun. It's fun-flantastic. So we'll see. That didn't come out very. It was better in my brain. But
I thought you were going to say functional, but
Functional. But no, it's actually, you get a 3D printer, you print those cool things, and I have a video I'm going to be doing for my Fairchild. It's got some broken parts on it. So some people actually make parts. You can just download and 3D print. So we'll do a video and show you guys how that turns out. Cool. And always a big thank you to Steve for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure having him on. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And
by the way, Golden Tee, I spent way more time in Best Buy messing around. I don't remember the game being that fun, but once I got started, that's a very underrated cabinet.
I love it.
It is. You have to have a couple of beers. The more beers you have, the more fun Golden Tee gets. That's kind of how that works.
I love.
I don't drink, but if I like having fun.
Yeah, Glenn.
The more you work out and diet, the more fun you have too.
There you go.
True story.
And then, so Camo is one of our moderators inside of the Discord. We've got the Discord. We've got, probably 130, 140 guys that are in there. They're not all online at once. But we have a good time. They're chatting in there. Sean also in there. Shotgun Sean, if you guys watch his videos on Facebook, go join it. Look up. I think he's even got some links. Camo, if you can put the link in the chat room, that would be awesome. Make sure you guys go over there and join the Discord. We talk almost all day in between things and communicate on different channels. There's even a channel where you guys can promote your videos. I don't even care. We made a channel designated. If you're a content creator, you can throw it in there and hopefully gain more subscribers or people liking your stuff. We even have I think we have a game room channel where you can post pictures of your game room. And the best part of all, there's no drama. We have a whole awesome time in there. And I will say, this past week, I have a confession to make. My son got me into Fortnite, and I have been playing that religiously, and I really enjoy it. And I've been having fun on the PlayStation 5 with it. That's my confession. And I'm leveled up to almost level 50. So I've been playing hardcore every night.
Well, Steven, it was nice being friends with you.
Hey, listen.
I'm ashamed to see it go down this way. You know, I thought we were tight. I thought this bond was going to last a lifetime, but
hey,
just had to go down that rabbit hole.
I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. We play with 4 people online. It's a good time. It's a good time. So, if you guys want to join,
you can search for me, Stevie. You can find me on there. I'm on the Glen's Retro Show. Is on Fortnite. I'm always hiding in a corner in a building.
Oh, so the truth comes out too. There's more.
Yeah. I play it. My son, makes me. But I don't know how to play. I just hide literally in a corner. I'm always the second to last guy. Then someone kills me. I always die the second to last guy because I'm always hiding the whole game.
And I think in 2 weeks, and Rexer's in the chat. He can correct me if I'm wrong. I get to go up against somebody to hopefully take the championship, which I saw, I conquered the last show. I told him, don't stick me with P-dubs and I'll win. And he didn't stick me with P-dubs, and guess what? I won. So, even if I lose the next round, even if the guy that's going to face me is better than me, I don't care because I still won without P-dubs. So, that's my story. And I'm sticking to it.
You got his $10 too.
And I got his $10. So, no show next week, guys. Enjoy your Easter. Enjoy your family. But we'll see you guys around. And I'll be streaming throughout the week, Fortnite, if you want to come watch, and other games if you want to come. But we really appreciate it. Till next time, guys. Keep it buzzing.